Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to go ahead and knock out another no-item super battle road run. So, today it's going to be Extreme Class Realm of Gods. Now, if you guys remember, Realm of Gods was the OG, the original, like, ridiculously difficult super battle road stage, but things have changed since that Realm of Gods stage was just, borderline impossible for so long. And that's literally this entire team we're using has come out since then, right? Like, we have both of the Angels, Whis and Vados. Vados is good, but, I mean, she just far pales in comparison to Whis. In my experience, the difference between 70% dodging that Whis and UI Goku has and the 50% dodging that Vados has, it feels like a Grand Canyon-sized gap in how it's going to work, right? So Whis is really like the entire anchor of the team, just quite honestly. Like, Whis is, I would say, easily the most important unit for what we're trying to do here. Now, we are using Supreme Kai and Kibito. Again, I mean, they've been in how many of these no-item runs recently? They're just stupidly, ridiculously dumb OP. I chose here, since I had them in rotation 1, I chose to keep them as Kibito and Supreme Kai to go for the 50% chance to stun. And then, of course, they'd also have their dodging, and, we got a double super attack, so defensively, they're just... After they super attack, they raise their defense by 50%, right? Both Kibito Kai and the Supreme Kai and Kibito do that, so that's good. Yeah, there's Vados getting hit already. So, sort of my strategy is to rock both Whis and Vados on a rotation together. Now, we have double Beerus here. Now, Beerus defensively is fine after the first hit, so it is sort of that we just have to work around that, right? So, like, a lot of times as I'm, moving through this event and stuff like that, it's like weakening enemies that can hit Beerus or attack Beerus the first time is mostly what I try and do, right? It's just to make sure that Beerus is not going to get smacked around too much. That's the reason I chose to go for the stun on King Choppa last turn, because he, of course, is STR, which Beerus is weak to. Now, if I was able to use a parade of Rainbow UI Goku friends, I feel as though this would probably be, like, a bit easier than double Beerus. But, like, the Beerus friend is rainbowed. Level 5 links with a bronze attack equip on, right? So it's like, that's a like, they made these extreme super battle road stages so difficult that they just straight up give you a ridiculously strong friend unit, which is just very, very helpful, right? So we have our Supreme Kai. We're gonna go ahead and fuse right here. Now, when Supreme Kai fuses, now they get a 20% attack debuff, which is applied to the entire enemy rotation. So the reason I chose to do that in particular, too, is to help out Supreme Pi of Time. Now, Supreme Pi of Time, she'll take a little bit of damage. It's not really that bad, especially Devilman we don't have to worry about. But just that little extra 20% debuff really helps out a lot, especially since Whis ate that super attack last turn. Our health is pretty low. One thing I always forget to mention, too, so Kibito Kai and Supreme Kai, they also heal at the end of turn. Like, it's just, the amount of things they do, it's just ridiculous. Like, they heal, they stun, they lower attack, they dodge, they raise defense, like, they debuff passive, like, they just do something, like, it's like there's a reason that they're front and center in, like, almost all of these, like, no-item runs, right? So there I go for the stun on Hercule. That, of course, is just to keep Supreme Pi of Time from taking a hit. Now, Whis will do quite a bit of healing if Beerus is on rotation as well, right? I believe Whis heals, is it 10% HP? I believe at the end of turn, if there is a Beerus on rotation. Let me just quickly double check Whis. But I believe, yeah, 10% HP healing at the end of the turn if Beerus is on rotation. Then, of course, Whis and Beerus have that Connoisseur link as well, which, I mean, I actually have level 10 for Whis. So for Whis, it's 7% HP regeneration and 7% defense. Very, very strong, right? And then Beerus has also got it. So, like, Whis and Beerus, a rotation of them heals a lot. But I still, even though that is true, like how much, this was funny. Like, it was showing it, I was like, oh, okay, the damn Connoisseur link, there we go. So despite the fact that how much Beerus and Whis heal, I don't leave Beerus on rotation, right? Like, Beerus is definitely our main damage dealer, too. Like, UI Goku can do really good damage after he does his dodges and stuff like that. But Beerus, in particular, on rotations where he gets, like, this right here, like, he one-shots Videl. I mean, especially because we have his active skill, right? So Beerus' active skill, I believe you could use that starting from turn 4. He gives himself a 50% attack and defensive buff for 1 turn. And I believe he becomes super effective against all types as well. And he could activate that from turn 4 if HP is below 70%. So at that point, like when we get the active skill going, Beerus's defense is just like moon level. And then, you know, he's just, okay, so here we go. So let's see. Yeah, and then he's doing a 9.45 million attack stat. I mean, very obviously that one-shots any enemy on this field, right? Just instant death to them. So that's really, really good. And then, of course, you know, with Whis and Vados, they seal and lower attack with super attack, right? So as much as possible, we're able to keep them sort of, like, you know, sealing, lowering attack, stuff like that. Now, remember that when Beerus and Whis are on rotation together, Whis also becomes a support type unit. I believe, does he give, is it 50% or 40%? Let me double check again. Whis gives 50% attack to the rotation when Beerus is on rotation. So it's just like Beerus and Whis are so ridiculous. And it's like, you know, Beerus, you know, is, I mean, this is extreme category Super Battle Road. This is as tough as it gets. And we could see that Beerus, like, after he takes that for, that's a pretty good attack stat by UI Goku right there. Not even 18 key, 3 million. Very solid. You know, not linked up with a Saiyan or anything like that, right? Like, Beerus, after he takes that first hit, which can do good damage, after that, defensively, he's like A1. Like, he's completely fine. Definitely, too, after this, right, like, I ended up with a Beerus and Whis rotation, which is dangerous because, you know, this took many attempts. This took a few days. I always felt much more confident in this team than other no-item runs, but it's just a matter of, like, the dodges and stuff hitting, and like other extreme category Super Battle Road stages, like, it's just, like, you know, the first two fights are tough, right? Against, like, Hercule and the World Tournament gang, basically, and then, you know, against, like, Grandpa Gohan and, like, you know, Goku's, like the masters, the senseis, right? Those fights are tough. No doubt about it. But you get to the Z fighters at the end, and you just die. Like, they just, it's so, like, these extreme fights, man, extreme Super Battle Road fights, these category ones, like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like you get to the last fight and the difficulty is dialed up to 27 or something like that. Like, they just destroy you. Like, you just don't even, you have no chance in hell, like, of even surviving. So it's just a case of getting to the last fight, trying to have the last fight begin with a turn of Whis and Vados, and then, like, you know, we're able to, like, seal and attack lower a bunch of them, and then we could just sort of keep them in check, right, until we're able to kill off one of them, or UI Goku starts to get ridiculously powerful, right, because UI Goku, the more he dodges, the stronger and stronger he gets defensively and offensively, and even key-wise, right? Like, every single dodge is really helping him a lot. So, you know, these fights, you know, are not 3-turn fights, 2-turn fights. You know, as you guys see, like, these go, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 turns, even with this team I'm rocking. But then again, this is a full, like, defensive build right here. Because, like, you know, I feel like going full offense can work, like, even for, like, no-item runs in some of these Super Battle Road stages, but I don't think Realm of Gods is necessarily one of those, because there's too many enemies, right? 5, 4, and 4 is just, it's so many enemies you're fighting. So, like, you know, you just have so many opportunities to take multiple super attacks, because, like, you know, you take 2 super attacks in a turn and you're pretty much not going to be able to survive. Because, you know, Realm of Gods has, like, you know, the strongest, like, upper echelon of category there is, right? Like, look, LR Jiren, I didn't even try LR Jiren in this stage. Like, this was the team I was rocking, right? I didn't even attempt to see what LR Jiren was like. I mean, I suppose I could have maybe done, you know, UI Goku as my leader, and then I could have rocked Jiren, like, on the team as well. That could have worked good, because remember, Jiren does have that active skill where when he gets hit 5 times, Then he does the guaranteed stun to the enemy rotation, lowers their attack and defense, and then gives himself an attack and defensive buff. Like, the turn where you would get that active skill by Jiren would be ridiculous. So that could have been a good way to go about it. That would have... No, our health would have been the same, right? Because Beerus gives 170% to attack and defense, but only 130% to health, which of course is a bit of a bummer. Obviously, there's a lot of units I think that could have still really helped too, like LR God Goku, right? Like, I easily could have put LR God Goku on the team, maybe even instead of like Supremo Pie of Time. Like, I don't know, LR UI Goku and LR God Goku probably would have been a fairly powerful rotation that really would have been able to make things work, especially like if I would put UI Goku in slot 1, let the 70% chance to dodge do its thing. Then I put God Goku in slot 2, right? And he's got his 50% chance to dodge, but then he greatly raises defense on super attack for that turn. That's going to make him very, very formidable defensively. So see, you know, we took a lot of damage from Grandpa Gohan right there, but we were okay. Now, one thing that does get unfortunate, right? I think... Oh, wait. I think I know what run this is. Okay. But one thing that does sort of get unfortunate at times is the Dokkan attack, right? Like, you know, it's... With the double Beerus team, I think I definitely could get the Dokkan attack on fight 3 if I sort of, like, you know, maneuvered around same type orbs. But it's like, I just need to get same type orbs as much as possible to raise our health. So we get 1,000,000 dodges here. So UI Goku has... I think he might have his full passive active at this point. And I think he might actually finish this fight. Does he finish this fight right here? And then the entire rest of this video is fighting the final fight? I think so. Like, again, when I talk about how difficult these final fights are, I'm pretty sure one of these runs, UI Goku did a Dokkan attack and completely wiped out the enemies. I think this is it. I think he takes them all down except for one, and then Kibito Kai finishes him off. Roshi, right? Yeah, okay, so this fight is done. That's where, like, again, UI Goku with his full passive active, look at this. He just, like, he like, full wiped the enemy team, right? So I'm thinking, oh, yeah, okay, this is why this, okay, yep, perfect. This is why the no item run happened, because UI Goku wipes out the whole enemy team. We go into the last fight full health with Whis and Vados on rotation. And, yep, Whis is able to get the first hit, and there's plenty of ki right here so that Whis and Vados can both super attack. Occasionally, right, you can have issues with super attacking with both Whis and Vados since they both need 4 ki. And then here it's like, man, I wish Beerus could also super attack, but I have to imagine I prioritize Vados instead. And then, like, I'm checking out the next rotation to see, like, okay, so, like, if I make sure Tien, for example, has his attack lowered and is sealed, right, then I'm not going to have to worry about, like, Beerus getting, like, one-shotted next turn or something like that, right? Like, there's a lot going into it. But with Whis and Vados having been here turn 1, that means, again, we're going to be able to make sure guaranteed one of these 3 cannot super attack, right? Because Whis is going to get the first attack. And then Vados, you know, hopefully, like, whoever she goes to seal isn't going to try and super attack before. But, like, notice how many times these dudes are attacking, right? Like, there's legitimately, like 15 attacks in this turn or something. Like, it's over 10. Like, it's, like, this is why, like, an offensive build, I think, could work. But I feel like this fight would be so annoying with an offensive build, right? Like, the blue fusions are definitely good enough to come in here and get the job done, right? Because, again, this fight goes like 7 or 8 turns. So, you know, half of the fight, the fusions are going to be in their Super Saiyan Blue form. And we know how ridiculous they are in Super Saiyan Blue, right? So, you definitely could rock them for a no-item run, no doubt about it. I don't know if I would use... Ooh, wow. We win this, huh? Okay. Sure. Okay, so I already see the strategy here is going for the stun on Yamcha, right? If I stun Yamcha right here to prevent that attack from going against Beerus. So I'll transform with Kibito Kai. Stun, you know, because, again, Kibito Kai, when transforming, does the 100% 2-turn stun. The other thing, too, about the 2-turn stun for Kibito Kai, he does not need to super attack in order to do the 2-turn stun. It's just a normal attack will give him the guaranteed stun because it's from his passive, not his super attack effect. So that's, again, just another cherry on top of Kibito Kai. Kibito Kai also gives himself ki, by the way. He gives himself 3 ki at the start of turn. That's why we only ever need 3 ki with him. And then, of course, you know, if we have some of the angels around, or like, you know, we have Supremo Pie of Time around or something like that. Plus, I mean, wow, think about, like, you know, physical Vegito Blue, who I've used to, like, carry through, like, several of these no-item runs. Like, we could rock him. You know, even LR STR Vegito Blue probably is, like, good enough. Like, he'll take some damage, I think, but he's definitely good enough. Blue Goku and Vegeta, right? Like, the only thing about, you know, you could rock God Goku on the team to create Rainbow Orbs for Blue Goku and Vegeta. God Goku would get hit very hard, but he does seal. And he does link up really well with Blue Goku and Vegeta. Maybe him as a floater, but then on those turns, you know, Blue Goku and Vegeta, they could completely disintegrate these enemies, right? They're just on that level of power. Like, yeah, I'm looking through it. Like, the options for this team are very good. Like, I even now have the TUR Blue Goku rainbowed, the TUR for LR UI Goku. Like, him, you know, his dodging and stuff like that would be outstanding as well. Like, there's a lot of options here that would work incredibly well. I mean, you could even try the OG Jiren strat, right? Nice, we just barely managed to survive again. This is hilarious. Like Chaozu did 300k on a super attack and nearly, like, just destroyed us, right? Now we're just sort of, like, easing our way through. But Krillin is very, very low health, right? Like, if we just get, like, one of the 3 taken out here, you know, we've got a really nice chance at actually getting the no-item run down. Then a rotation where Supremo Pie of Time is around, it's very easy for everyone to super attack. That's one reason I'm still using her. It's because, like, these rotations are so good, right? Because, again, Supremo Pie of Time, you know, we could have done Gowasu and Zamasu. AGL West Kai, honestly, probably would work because, remember, she guards. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that's got to be a dodge right there. Yep. AGL West Kai, she guards. Like, her first attack, she will take normal damage. And then after that, she guards. So she works just like Beerus, right? Where the first attack, she takes it. But then the second one, she's going to have guards. So the attacks after the first one aren't going to do very much to her. Only thing about AGL West Kai is that she doesn't give ki. If AGL West Kai gave ki on her passive, I would definitely think about her quite a bit more, right? Because, I mean, this team we're using is very ki hungry, right? We're not really linking up the greatest, right? Like LR UI Goku and Beerus don't have key links, for example, right? But LR UI Goku, you know, is able to build up all that extra ki. By the way, the double super attacks to get rid of Krillin obviously has a really, really, really big hand in us getting this no-item rundown. So now, here we go. We get to turn 4, so now Beerus can use his active skill. Now Beerus gets massively stronger to where now at this point, even that first attack is not quite so devastating the way it was previously, prior, right? So we don't really have to worry so much about all of the damage Beerus is going to take. I mean, there's Realm of Gods, just there's so many options, right? Like, there's even the physical Blue Goku and the tech Blue Vegeta. Like, you know, you can use them to really, really have massive HP regeneration because they just are going to get such a massive attack and defensive buff from those same type orbs. And then they're also going to be, you know, healing because their defense is so high. So it's just, like, there's just a lot of options for this Realm of Gods team now. Like, whereas previously, you know, you had this Murderer's Row stage where there's all these enemies, and it's like you had really good units, you know, AGL Rose, STR Rose, Tech Vegito Blue, and all these cats, but, like, you know, now the quality of unit is just so much higher for Realm of Gods, right? So it's like, even though they turned up the difficulty for a lot of these stages, there's just so many cheat code units now that can really handle things, right? Like, again, Tech Ultimate Gohan is a cheat code unit. Kibito Kai is a cheat code unit. Like, all these units, like, are cheat codes. So, like, we're rocking them, and it's just, like, we don't really have too much to worry about while they're around, right? And again, as you can see, like, we're still going on. This fight is not quick. You know, turn 5, this is the thing. If we had the blue fusions here, like, you know, turn 6 is the earliest they could do their active skill. We're actually at the point where the blue fusions could, you know, be using their active skills if we were using them. Like, that's how crazy some of these final fights are. Now, I don't know, maybe it might have been better of me to aim at Chaozu, you know, earlier on in the fight. Because Chaozu, I believe, has far less HP than the rest of them. I think Tien has the most health, then Krillin, then Yamcha, then Chaozu, I think is how it goes. I don't know for sure, but I believe that's the way it works. So this is also one of those things too where it's like, man, like a double super attack by Beerus would be quite clutch here. Because of course, you know, not able to get a super attack. You know, Beerus with that active skill up, you know, even without his full passive, because he's not going to get hit before he attacks. That's one issue with running him in like slot 3 and 2. He's still going to be doing over a 5 million attack set or whatever. Because, right, Beerus is getting 50% attack from Whis' passive, and he's getting 60% attack from Vados' passive, plus all the links he shares with Vados as well, right? So Beerus is going to be just putting out like a ridiculous attack set on his turn. Okay, he did not double super attack, and his defense is so high at that point. Wow, yeah, whew, triple attack from Tien. It's just very scary right there. But now at this point, we're starting to get to the point where we should be good, because I believe UI Goku at this point should have his full passive active, right? So with UI Goku's full passive active, like, you know, yeah, he's at 200k defense. This is what I'm talking about. Like, people think UI Goku, it's only about dodging with him, but this man has 200k defense on top of his dodge chance, right, with his full passive. So that kind of makes a big deal. And then I choose to do this, right, because, like, we're getting really close to the end of the fight here. So it's okay, please, UI Goku. Like, I am so nervous because I got a couple runs to about this point, and then it's like Chaozu would super attack right there and it would hit UI Goku, right? Like UI Goku dodges 6 out of 7 attacks. The one attack he doesn't dodge is Chaozu's super attack, which does 400k, right? Like I had several runs to get to this point, and I mean, you know, here we are, we're 20 minutes into the run, right? When you lose it at this point, it's just like, that's where I just stopped doing no item attempts for a couple hours. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna close the app, I'm gonna close the recording device, and we're gonna go carry on with the rest of my day doing something else, because it is just so brutal to get to this point. Yeah, okay, double super attack. Does this take Yamcha out? This might take Yamcha out. Like, look at this man, 2 million attack set on top of everything else he does. Yamcha did survive with a sliver of health, but at this point, like, we should be good, because both of them, the no item run is clinched because they're both sealed, so they can't super attack. And like Whis' defense is already good. And then, you know, you guys know the way Whis works, right? Where every time Whis dodges, he gets a 50% defensive increase for that turn. So that's why it just makes Whis like the most overpowered defensive unit in the game. I mean, he can, you know, Whis can get super attacked. The very first attack, like right there, would be a super attack, hit Whis, and you're gonna like get destroyed, right? Because Whis builds that defense as he's dodging. But like if he gets a couple dodges in, Whis can even eat super attacks on a turn. Like his defense just gets that high. And especially like when we have characters like Vados around who share so many categories with Whis, right? I mean, Vados is giving, what, 60% attack and defense to Whis, because he's on Realm of Gods, Bond of Master and Disciple, and Siblings Bond. He's on all the categories. And then there we go, Beerus. Yeah. Beerus is a bad boy. I was impressed with Beerus, man. Beerus is good. Beerus is like a big-time Chad, like no messing around. Even without his full passive active, like, the damage he's able to do with these angels around is just so ludicrous. Like, that team, the Whis, Vados, and Beerus, like, rotation is just, like, crazy. So, like, I can't wait to see them add more angels and stuff like that into this game. Like, it's gonna get so nuts. So now we'll just go over the team. I'll go over equips and stuff like that. I actually didn't really put too much work into, like, Beerus, right? I mean, as you can see, like, just some 5s. He's got 1-7 right there. Because I wasn't really too concerned about getting this Realm of Gods run done. I was more concerned with other ones, like, you know, like, I don't know, Super Class, right? Or something like that. Or, like the OG, the 10, like, typings, like, Super AGL is still, like, Murderer's Row, right? The Angels, I did try and level up quite a bit. Whis and Vados, because I knew that they are the anchor of the team, right? The 2 angels on 1 rotation. And then, of course, Supreme Kai and Kibito. Like, I've sort of kept them on my team as I'm link leveling units, just because I'm using them in so many different no-item runs, right? It's funny, like, I did Super Int Extreme Super Battle no-item run. If I used Kibito Kai, it would have been 10 times easier. Like, it's just so funny to think about. Like, they would have made it a joke. But there we go. Extreme Realm of Gods done. We're knocking these down. We're just destroying these at this point.